Or
All right,
do you
if
want
you
me to
can come
ask
out.
for someone?
We've got some.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they'll be right here. Yep. All right, so that should be test 1, 2. See, it's just coming out of my computer. Okay. I wonder if I'd try. Let's see what happens. Test 1, 2. So test 1, 2. That's so weird.
Okay, test speaker, do you have the headphone option in the
And what?
in the settings?
In the Zoom settings, you think? Testing audio. Okay. Testing audio. Okay. We should be good. So we're just going to need to mute this while we're All right, Nicole, can you hear when I talk like this? Can you hear when I talk like this? Let me see. So in order to make this work, we're going to be muting and unmuting to make sure everything works well. So we're going to work to separate out the in-person and Zoom folks who are participating so that it's a really clean process for everyone. Yeah, can folks on Zoom, are you able to hear me? Just wave if you can. All right, is the audio okay? Give me a thumbs up if it's okay. Give me a thumbs down if it's not okay. It's okay on Zoom. Fantastic. All right, so an important announcement for everyone speaking. We've got separate audio here because as you heard, when we try and combine the audio, then we've got the doubling up sound, which is not so great.
Just because that computer's on it.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Oops, here I can get it. Okay, perfect. So, all right. So if you are speaking into the microphone, it is essential that you only speak into the microphone. If you shout from the back, you can talk loud, but you can't talk so loud they can hear you in Watertown, South Dakota. I promise you that. So make sure you've got this. The Zoom audio is coming through the phone. So we'll just have people hold the microphone and the phone. Should be pretty straightforward. And then everyone will be able to hear you. So we'll take a break. If someone wants to speak on Zoom, we'll unmute the computer and folks will be able to speak on Zoom. So we've got 2 folks in the other room making sure everyone on Zoom is able to do what they want. So we'll take a specific time for folks on Zoom to talk. With that, I think we're ready to go, Randy.
So we're going to be balancing this afternoon with respect to the elections and the official business, both people in the room and those that are appearing virtually. So sometimes it may be a little awkward while we're waiting and weighing in, trying to recognize to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to fully participate and engage in whatever necessary and robust discussion to conduct the business of the State Central Committee. So we're Democrats. We're going to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to be heard, and that's how we're going to proceed this afternoon. So I assume you've all basically checked in, and with that, I'll officially call the February State Central Committee meeting to order. First order of business, will please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Just hold this while you talk.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we talk about agenda item number 3 on the agenda, I also want to take a moment, and we put out a press release upon the death of Senator Jim Aberask. But certainly when we think about the history of the South Dakota Democratic Party and individuals that have had a significant and substantial impact on policies, not just in South Dakota, but across this country, Senator Jim Aberask and his commitment and his involvement and his dedication to justice and equality and treating people across this country with respect and dignity comes to mind. we've reached out, and thank you, Carrie, for reminding me, but we've reached out to Governor Nome and made an official request, obviously, if it has not already been done, that flags across South Dakota should be flown at half staff in honor of his memory. So thank you to Senator Nessebaugh and Representative Cameron Nelson for reaching out and coordinating with the governor's staff in an effort to make sure that that happens. So with that, we're going to formally move on to the agenda. Number 3 on the agenda is the opportunity to approve the agenda and add any additional items to the agenda before it's approved. We've had a request to have Tom Cool has made a request to add an agenda item to discuss reimbursement of expenses for officers who are on official travel. And so we will add that if the agenda is approved as amended. Are there any additional proposed items that anybody wants to add to the agenda this afternoon? If none, then I'd entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended. Okay, moved by Travis's, okay, seconded by Eric. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye. Opposed, same sign. And again, online, I'm assuming you'll be vocal in the event that you want to speak with respect to this matter. Burke and the staff are monitoring that on an appropriate basis.
Can we test something, Randy, real quick? All right. Folks who are online, can I grab that? Do you want to say aye real quick? I want to see if we can hear you.
Aye.
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 How does that sound?
Aye.
How does that sound out there?
Aye.
Right? All right, we're in good shape then.
I know some of you out there have to unmute to say aye, and we appreciate if you're not speaking or don't want to be recognized, keeping your computer on mute. So with that, we're going to continue to proceed with the agenda. I just want to take a moment before we do that and recognize an old friend of mine who traveled across this state with me when I was a unsuccessful candidate for Attorney General, and who's now working for the South Dakota Democratic Party. And that's that young woman seated in the back of the room, Tegan McNary. So Tegan. Good to have you back in South Dakota. Agenda item number 4, approval of the December 3rd, 22 minutes. Lori.
Yes. I just lost audio. I can't hear you, Randy.
Burke, your audio from your phone drops.
Can everyone hear us now? Yes? Okay, now try again.
Agenda item number 4, the approval of the December 3rd, 22 meeting minutes. Lori, we see you
Yes.
online on the big screen. Do you have any additions, corrections, anything you want to comment on?
No, I do not.
Anybody online or in the room, any corrections or additions to the December 3rd meeting minutes? Okay, a motion to approve the minutes, Eric. Okay, seconded by Jessica. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of the approval of the minutes for the December 3rd, 22 State Central Committee meeting, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. Thank you, everyone.
Randy, it's Lori.
Yes, Lori.
I have a request. When you say who moved to approve, can you give first and last name, please?
Okay. Okay,
Thanks.
did you get that before?
It was Eric who moved to approve.
Mucky and Jessica Myers.
Okay, thank you.
And I don't know about the approval of the agenda. Yeah. Okay. Okay, moving right along, the financial agenda item number 5 is the financial report. And you'll hear from our treasurer, Larry Olson. Yes,
We took attendance.
we took attendance. So we have a quorum.
Yeah, we have 24 counties.
Yes, we have 24 counties, and we, based on the formal attendance and their appearance, we do have a quorum. I probably should have made that clear, Kurt. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Sometimes the current chair, I'm step 7 of dementia at this point, so keep that in mind. There's only 11 steps.
Who are you? Okay. Kirk is going to put up the financials for us on here so we can all see. It's pretty much, in my view, a good news thing, on there. When he gets it up, we'll see, that for an election year, you want to use your resources in a responsible way as much as possible, but yet we have to look forward to the runnings of the party as well. This year we spent a significant amount of money on election activities and getting staff out in the field, helping with door-to-door and all kinds of candidate assistance as well. And fundraising is always a challenge on there. I have to say, I'd like to see it much better, and I anticipate that we will get better as time goes on. But as he pulls up on here, we'll just kind of go through the month to month as a end of year financial report. Okay. This is the current expenditures that we're looking at for our budget. Oh, excuse me, the year end. I apologize. The year end. This is column by column. Our vendors and consulting. We spent $42,000 and change, and we expected that we were going to be 47 and change. We budgeted 47, so we finished the year ahead of schedule on that particular column. Next one, mail. Of course, we have a lot of mail, especially at the end. And you can see we spent $1154. We expected we were going to be at 500. We budgeted 500. Of course, mailing was something that when you look at the 230% over, basically that's just $1,000. So pretty minimal in that regard. But Okay, all right. Yeah, so just, okay, I'm just gonna speed up the process, yeah, thanks. Okay. Okay, so you can see on our meeting, you can see the total on there, year end, 74.39%. We finished ahead of the game on that one. And field and outreach, big one there. We finished way under budget on that particular one. Occupancy cost is pretty much a set one there. We're right on the money on that. 90, yep. And then office supplies, you know, quite a bit going on. Printing, what have you, 92% on that particular one. Travel, that was the big one. We had wanted our people out and about, you know, spreading the word. 109%, we're just a little over budget on that one. And data, of course, that one, election year, of course, it's pretty hard to pin down, but we were 113%. We were just a little over budget on that. And miscellaneous, again, we fell below what we projected. We were at 87.36%. And for our totals, you can see year to date, we were just a little over our budget, 100.67%. That's pretty darn close. That's on the expense side. On the income side, we finished the year just a little ahead of where we projected, 105.72%, you know, on there. So the bottom line totals on there, we were at on our individual or joint, all of our fundraising activities. We finished the year out. We'll jump back to the total. There we go, 111.74%. So we were ahead of our fundraising activity, which to me was a great thing. And for our expenses, excuse me, that was expense 111.74, and our total on the income had turned around. I apologize. 110% on the expenses. You know, I'll look at it correctly this time, and 111.74% on the income. That's pretty darn close. Yeah, I'd say that if you had to look at a budget that was well done, well executed, I don't see how you could do much better than that, you know, for the year-end activity. And the only thing better would have been somebody better to explain it. But anyway, so this is our current bank accounts at as of yesterday. We were at, in the federal account, 85,261. And in the state account, 31,533. So once again, fundraising is a key item. I would encourage everyone to consider monthly contributions if you haven't already. And with that, I would recommend a vote to approve as filed.
Any questions for the treasurer? About the budget, any expenditures? Okay. Thank you, Liam. So any questions from the room? And then Bert wants me to ask any questions online. Many of you that are in attendance here, both online and in person, know that over the course of the last several years, we implemented a number of checks and balances and safeguards with respect to the expenditure of funds. It's monitored. We have a 2-check signature requirement in place. We have a new accounting firm that we're working with on a regular basis as far as updates and accuracy of our financial reporting and our reporting to the FEC. And that's due in huge part both to Burke and to Larry Olson and their efforts over the course of the last several years in terms of getting our budget in an understandable and appropriate format so that we can report on both a monthly basis to the e-board and also a quarterly basis to the SCC. So if there are no questions.
There's one question that came through in the chat. For folks online, when we open it up to questions from the room, please just ask over audio because it's tough for us to see the chat in the room. But I know I just heard that Liz asked why we were over on data and voter file management. And the reason there was just we bought some early vote data and that wasn't accounted for in the budget. But Mary, question? Oh, Lawrence, here, let me way over.
You say there's a Lawrence Novotny bookings. You say there's a two signature on the checking account. Who are the names on signatories?
Yeah. So the names are myself, Randy, Jennifer, Larry, and then Jessica Myers, who's our deputy treasurer, because she's in Sioux Falls. And I try not to make Randy drive to Pier every time we need to sign a check.
So Lawrence, basically the officers and our executive director. So any other questions about the budget? Okay. Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to accept the treasurer's report as presented. Moved by Frank Klochek, seconded by John Schmidt. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all of those in favor of the acceptance of the treasurer's report as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
Aye.
opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you, Larry. So agenda item number 6 is consideration of a constitutional amendment, which has been previously submitted by our vice chair, Jennifer Slate Hansen. And then 6.5 will be hearing from Tom Cool. I also want to just point out that a proposed constitutional amendment as previously at least was submitted by Michael Lindgren. He and I had a discussion about the requirements of constitutional amendments being submitted by state central committee meetings. And we basically reached an agreement in which his proposed constitutional amendments would be deferred, discussed by the March and April executive board meeting at the March and April executive board meetings, and considered then at the June State Central Committee meeting. The June meeting is also a huge meeting for all of us in terms of we'll be dealing with issues with respect to our national delegate selection plan. Burke will have more on this, but we've started the process of working with the DNC in terms of who will be our delegates to the National Convention for the 2024 Democratic National Convention and the nomination of our national candidates as we go into 24. So that process has also started in terms of coordinating with the DNC. So just wanted to let you know where we were on all of that. So yes.
Hasn't been set yet.
Okay. We've recommended Fort Pierre, Terry, but I don't know if it's going to happen. So it has not been set yet. That's right. The Fort Pierre, there were multiple locations that were considered, I think, at the last DNC meeting, and Burke can update us on that.
Yeah, so there are 4 locations for the DNC being considered right now. There is Houston, Chicago, Atlanta, and New York are the 4 options right now. And it's not even a vote of the DNC. It's at the discretion of the chair. And he, of course, cares a lot what the president says. So it's going to come down to what President Biden wants for the location. But we expect to hear, they're hoping to announce it sometime this summer, but we haven't heard a final timeline yet.
Okay, agenda item number 6, Jennifer.
All right. Thank you so much. Now, hopefully all of you saw this proposed constitutional amendment. Burke's going to bring it up for us on his computer, and I'm going to go through each of the individual steps of this. But before I delve too far into it, I just want to say that the reason that I am making this proposal is some of you remember, sorry. I just sat that right down even though I knew I was supposed to hold it. Okay, some of you remember it was just 6 years ago when we made this change to the May changeover. And, you know, at that time there was a lot of discussion. I think some of us remember that there was some political aspects of that. And now we're realizing why, or I believe we're realizing why that was a mistake to make that change. Generally, as a state party, we want, right after that governor's election, we want to make a change in our leadership if we're going to be making that change. And in this case, Randy has made the decision to step down, and we are having an election for the new chair. And so this new chair, when they take office in May, they will be, instead of having 24 months to lead up to that next election and be able to recruit candidates and put things in place, they'll only have 18 months. Fortunately, with our situation now, Randy and Burke are doing an outstanding job of keeping things moving and keeping us on the right track, already doing a wonderful job of recruiting candidates and helping our county parties with those things. But I still think that we should go back to our December election. And so basically that's what I'm proposing here, is that we will go back to our December election. So what we have here, and it's kind of, because of the way our Constitution is written, it's kind of all over the place, but I'm gonna do it piece by piece, but it's probably not actually in the order that it's written in the convention or in the Constitution. But first proposal here, first part of my proposal is the election is after the gubernatorial election, prior to December 31st of that same year. So what happens is, just like I described, we have our November election, gubernatorial election, and then following in the December meeting, we will have the election of our new state party chair. Okay, so, and that will be it'll be just like this meeting. It will be the chair, the vice chair, the treasurer, the secretary, all of our e-board members. So I'm proposing that we make that change back to that December. Right now, we're having the election in February. I'm proposing that we move it back to December, and then that new chair will, and all of those new people will take office on the first day of January. So they will have that full, almost 2 years to make those changes. Here again, the regional representatives, which we are electing today, would move back to that December election as well. There's also some housekeeping here. The regional representatives may also meet, and that is literally, we moved that from somewhere else. Not showing here, but we just moved that sentence literally from somewhere else in the Constitution. So that's not a new sentence, that's just moved. Oh, it's on the same page. Thank you very much, whoever saw that. The regional representatives, so literally taken from that spot and moved to that spot. So it's not anything new. What is new here is that the terms of the regional representatives, we have had as a policy that they would have 2 years. That's how we've done it since this Constitution was written. We never actually had it written in here. So that again is kind of a bookkeeping thing here. Those terms have been 2 years. We're simply putting it in writing. And so then going back here, okay, so I just talked about I'm trying to do it in a top-down manner so you understand it. So it will be those statewide offices that are first. Then we go here to our county committees, and I'm proposing the same thing, so that those counties are doing the same thing, giving those county officers, if there's a change, that we get that taken care of right after that. So we're doing all these in December, those statewide offices, and then in that January, February time frame. So if there is going to be a change there, that we get those changes done right away so that those people can be working. I have a question over here. What's the question?
So my question is why do you have the old SDC elect the new regional and the executive position? Would it make more sense that if the counties were going to change this,
Oh, sorry. Wait, 1 sec. We got it.
I apologize. That's how we've done it. I'm not asking for that kind of change. That's how we've all.
This is Lori. You just lost audio. Hello? Just lost audio.
We have lost all video. No, excuse me, audio. We have lost all audio.
Zoom testing. Can we hear on the Zoom?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you all. Apologies again.
Okay, so those of you who are on the Zoom right now, I will catch you up with what's happening here. There was that question, and basically what we did after that question was just talk a little bit about the fact that any other changes that will be proposed to this is a up or down vote on what I am proposing, and any other changes would need to go to that 30-day request. Right. So if you have a electronic device with you here today that you could pull up and see what it was that I proposed with the whole Constitution. Okay. Thank you, Amanda. Okay, so if you have access to that, you can better see how my proposal is, and maybe I need to start all over in my presentation. Do we have the copy that we sent? Can we bring that up? The actual copy that we sent with the meeting materials. Mm-hmm. Can we pull that up, because I'm making a mess?
Is there any benefit to having an executive board look at this?
No.
I hear some comments from around the room about, is there any benefit, and I'm just throwing this out there in terms of, for your consideration, about deferring this and having the executive board take a look at it and study it and make a firm recommendation back to the state central committee in June, or, but Carl Peterson is shaking his head no. Carl, stand up and, pardon me?
It's on the agenda. I think we should vote on it now. Yes, but I don't think we need it.
Okay, there's no motions on the floor at this point, so so Larry Olson has moved to Yeah, but we have a motion, so I'm just, Larry Olson has moved that we refer this matter to the executive board for study and a recommendation, and that it be considered at the June State Central Committee meeting. Is there a second to the motion?
I second.
Okay. Okay. Frank had his hand up in terms of the second.
It's hard.
Oh, okay, okay. And so now we're on discussion on the motion, and I want to give folks online also an opportunity to weigh in, but first we're going to consider comments in the room. Anybody in the room have any comments? Carl has previously indicated that he thinks this matter, since it's on the agenda, should be voted on and considered today. Carl Peterson.
I'm giving reason for that. If this passes here, will it allow the newly elected people who are elected today to take office earlier?
No.
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I would like to say in this regard is that, as all of you know, I am running for the position of chair today. And the reason that I asked for that to be on the agenda prior to the elections today was I wanted to commit, if this passes, so maybe I'll just say that either way, if this passes today or if it passes in the future, and if I'm fortunate to have been elected chair, I will follow whatever this group decides. So if you decide that you want the new chair to be done in December of 2027 or 27, then I will be done in December of December of 26. Then I will be done in December of 26 if I am elected. If you decide you want that chair to stay through May of 27, then I'll do that as well. That's the reason that I wanted it on the agenda now, because I wanted to give you that opportunity to tell that person what you want.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. But I wasn't done with what I was saying was, Randy, if this were to pass, would you be willing to pass the duties of chair on, let's say March 1st instead of waiting until May? Okay. So, yes. So if you could work that out between yourself and who's ever elected today, I think that would be good. And I guess that can happen whether or not this passes now. And if for the people on Zoom, Randy was jumping up with joy. So I think that was a yes.
Other comments in the room? Online?
I just have a general question for discussion.
Go ahead.
I guess I'm sorry if I missed it, when the audio cut out. I don't know if this was already discussed, but I guess I'm just curious about, has there been any consideration of having kind of lame duck officers after an election in November? That gap in time, between, the first weeks of November and then the start of the new year is a time when reports need to be filed and, things need to be wrapped up before the start of legislative session. And I'm just wondering if there's any concern about that, I guess, continuity of leadership going into a legislative session.
Randy, Deb Connect, can I speak?
Yep. Go for it. Go for it, Deb.
Okay, I just like to say that I approve of this simply because when you have a presidential election, when we're having our national convention, to get ready for the delegate process and all has to be filed right away, January, February, all that has to be done. So it's harder for a chair that's going to be leaving in 4 months after the first of the year to get, he has to get all that, or he or she has to get all that stuff done. And then the new chair comes in and has to be updated on all the changes that are made. And it'd be easier for the chair if they were able to start out right away January 1st and continue with the process that we need to elect our delegates to the national convention. Plus, I think, Randy, I don't know, I'm maybe speaking out of turn here, but when you're done after the election and you're not going to run again, you know, it's kind of like, okay, I could be done right now, and then you have 4 months left. And like you said, you're ready to be done. So I think, I just think that we need to consider this, because it is harder for a new chair, a new administration, a new, sometimes a new executive director coming in, and all of a sudden, all this stuff is piled on you. You have to acclimate yourself, you know, in order to get ready for that national convention, which is a lot of work. Anybody that's been through that knows that. But I just like to throw my 2 cents in, and I approve of this.
Other comments online?
Randy, this is Caroline Hanson. I just want to echo what Deb said. I also agree that, you know, I think moving this up is important, but just on the, I guess on the motion to move it to the executive committee, I don't really see a purpose in that. Our constitution says that we you know, we give 30 days notice and then we vote on it as a SCC. And I just think that that's our duty as SCC members. And I would urge people not to support this motion, and let's vote on it today. We have had time to look it over, and they're there to answer questions. And so I think if you've got questions, ask them, but I think we should vote on it today.
Dave, thank you. For the comments online? Discussion in the room, Eric.
Move to call the question to table.
Okay, we're going to consider that as a motion to limit discussion and to move to the question. Is there a second on Eric's? Seconded by Carrie. Okay. We're going to vote on the motion to call the question, to limit discussion and call the question. All those in favor of limiting discussion and calling the question, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. We're back to the motion to defer. We're interpreting it as a motion to defer as opposed to table, because you have to then lift it off the table and all of that stuff. So it's a motion to defer to the executive board and consider at the June SCC meeting. So if there's a divided house, we'll have to do roll call unless it's clear. So all those in favor of the motion to defer this matter to the executive board and to take it up.
And then online, so that we're.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
You're making it more complicated, but all those in favor of the motion to defer in the room, we've limited discussion. You're out of order. We're back to the motion. Yes, there was. Yes, there was. Okay. We're voting on the motion to defer to the executive board and to have the executive board make a recommendation at the June State Central Committee meeting. All of those in favor in the room, say aye. All those in the room opposed, say nay. Okay. Well, we're going to allow the online folks to vote now. Unmute. All of those online in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All those online opposed to the motion, say nay.
Nay. Nay.
Roll
Chair
call.
calls, House divided. We'll go to a roll call vote
Oh dear.
on the motion.
You ready?
What we're gonna say.
Yes.
We're in favor. Yes, yes.
We're gonna do it by county. That's what. Oh, okay. Let's get this going.
Yeah, okay, so one thing to clarify, our constitution says for an online vote, it has to be a roll call vote, so we can't do show of hands. So the way we're gonna do this to try and speed the process along is we've got everyone who's checked in. So I'm going to go through the names and record your vote so that we've got the roll call vote. I'm going to go through everyone in person and then everyone online so that we can get all the in-person people first and then online. And that way we're not trying to jump back and forth between the two.
I'm gonna do the in-person first. Yeah.
Yeah, well, can you read the names and I'll record the vote? Okay.
I sent that to my daughter.
How do you know?
Okay, in person, Bachman.
In person first.
Oh, yeah, they're doing in person.
Rashawn. Bernadette Sarah. Carl Peterson. Terry Ackerman Rice.
You do it.
That's Giles. Craig Brown.
Are we unmuted?
I think so, aren't we? Did he say? They're doing the on first.
We're doing in the house
Or
first.
in-house, I mean. Yeah.
Daryl Raschke. Daryl Reffenrath. Sorry.
You, Al.
Dave Mitchell.
So,
Deborah Ann Smith.
yeah.
Dennis Olson.
Yeah, you do it.
Eric Mucky.
So
Marina Brown. Frank Pochak.
Bartels, can you mute?
I'll call.
Jason Roberts.
Wait, what was that?
Jay Davis. Jennifer Slade Hansen.
Bartels, mute.
Jessica Myers. John Schmidt. Joseph Zweifel. Julia Sundstrom. Craig Brown.
Wait. I don't know. We're here.
Oh, sorry. Karen Haynes.
Wait, you missed Justin Rem.
Justin Remnick. Karen Haynes, we have you. For Karen, we have his nay. Larry Olson.
Aye.
Lawrence Novotny.
Aye.
Linda Brandt.
Aye.
Lynn Moran. Mary
Aye.
Perpich.
Aye. Let me say it so they can hear it on Zoom.
Randy Seiler, not voting. Richie Nordstrom.
Aye.
Sandra Whiteshield.
Aye.
Shane Merrill.
Aye.
Sharon Schultz Elsing.
Aye.
Sean Bordeaux. Stepped out, left, I think. Sheldon Osborne.
Aye.
Cheryl Johnson. Tom
Aye.
Cool.
Aye.
Travis Wicks.
Aye.
Veronica Shriver.
Aye.
Virginia Hollander.
Aye.
Alice Bartel.
This is okay. We're switching to online now.
Sorry, I thought we were voting on the overall vote. I voted yes. I want to vote nay.
Okay. Mary Perpich is changing her vote to nay. Okay. So we're going to go through. Oops. We're going to go through the folks online now.
Okay, online, Ellis. So unmute and get ready to vote. Ellis Bartel. Alice, are you there?
Aye.
Aurelia Henninger.
Aye.
Betty Smith.
Nay.
Bill Neblick.
Nay.
Brad Schneck.
Nay.
Braden. Just a minute. Braden Burry.
Nay.
Carolyn Hanson.
No.
Christopher Marion.
Nay.
David Gleason. David Gleason. Dawson Lewis.
Nay.
Deb Connect.
Nay.
What was that?
Deb Connect, nay.
No.
Jennifer
Yes,
Kine.
nay.
Nay.
So
Dave, please mute.
Turn your speakers down, bud.
Okay, so Jenny Wolf,
Aye.
Joanne Paulson, Joanne, were you an aye? Joanne Paulson, please clarify your vote.
Joanne is not here.
Okay,
Wait, who?
okay, Jenny Wolf, we had as an aye. Joanne Paulson not voting. Barry Ruth,
Nay.
Laura Gray,
Aye.
Liz Renner,
Nay.
Lori May,
Aye.
Marion Sorlin, Marion, are you there? Moving on, Mary Wick,
Nay.
Molly Selcone, or Salon.
No, it's okay.
Let's just see.
Aye.
Okay. Peggy Gibson,
Nay.
Susie Larson,
Yay.
Tamara Oswald,
Nay.
Vince Vidal.
Nay.
Can we just, is there anyone in the room that didn't get called that should be a voter? Okay. Everyone with the blue or red folder should have voted. Okay. Is there anyone online that was unable to vote? I'm gonna take a look here. Anyone online that still needs to vote? Travis, are you attending and not Joanne?
That's correct. I just changed my name to make sure you knew who I was here. So, nay.
Got it. Okay. You're nay? Okay. We'll update that. Just give me a second to tally.
And Steve McCleary, I got your text about the echo. We're doing what we can. Yes.
The chair is going to rule you can change your vote at this point since we have not announced the tally. State your name and what you want to do. Okay, we're closing the voting. So the ayes 38, the nays 26. The motion to defer to the executive board and consider the matter at the June SCC meeting passes. Okay. Moving on to the next agenda item. Tom Cool has asked under the amended agenda that he have the opportunity to address the group and make a proposal, make a motion.
Okay. Please don't do a stand-up vote or anything, please, on this. Yes or no? As most of you know, we've got 4 officers, unpaid officers, who have to go to national meetings, and they have to pick up their own tab on this. We used to have a little money in the budget to help them. We don't now. This can be thousands of dollars for several meetings during their term. So I would like to propose or make a motion that we direct the incoming chair to either set up a committee or refer to the budget committee, if we have one, to explore the possibilities of funding the officers, at least partially, to go to these meetings, or to come up another process, such as maybe a special fund that people could donate to. So that's the motion.
So the motion is Tom Cool moved to direct the new incoming chair to set up a committee or have the budget committee address issues with respect to the potential for reimbursing officers that attend national meetings. Is that accurate, Mr. Cool? Either partially or totally. Is there a second to that motion? Okay. EK Prom. Discussion in the room. Oh, Sharon. Okay, discussion in the room. Carl.
I oppose this motion because I believe we don't have enough money to do what we need to do here in South Dakota. So spending money to send people to the Democratic National Convention where we have a very small voice is a waste. Thank you. Or not just the convention, but all national stuff.
Further discussion in the room.
I support this motion. This is Annie Vachon. I support this motion because I think it's important that we recognize that attendance at the national meetings gives the opportunity for South Dakota to have a voice, and our presence there means that our voice isn't there. Things are changing. They understand the importance of rural communities, and without us there, we're not there.
Further discussion in the room.
I just want to point out the motion was for the committee to explore the possibility, not necessarily to appropriate the funds.
Briefly, I think that requiring people to pay their own way is undemocratic and shuts people out who otherwise might not be able to do this thing.
Further discussion in the room. Discussion online.
I'd like to call.
Hearing no discussion online, we're going to do a voice vote again. As Tom pointed out, it's not allocating any money. It's merely directing the newly elected chair, whoever that may be, to establish a committee or to work with the budget committee to explore the potential in whole or in part of reimbursing our officers for attendance at national meetings. Okay? So all those in the room in favor of the motion, say aye. All those in the room opposed to the motion, say nay. Okay. All those online in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All those online opposed to the motion, say nay. Chair rules that overwhelmingly the motion is carried and the new chair will be directed to proceed accordingly. Okay. Moving on to the executive director's report from Burke and a discussion of the procedure that we'll utilize in electing officers. Burke.
Thanks, Randy. All right. Thank you, everyone, for bearing with us as we go through this meeting. I got a very helpful comment from Brad Schneck, who does this stuff professionally. I'm going to work with him after the meeting to see if we can come up with some long-term solutions. It's a little tough as we go to different spaces, and we've worked through a lot of different ways to make this audio work. But I know Brad knows what he's doing, so I'm hopeful we can have some good spots going forward. I'm not going to have a super long executive director's report here because I know we've got a lot more to do in this meeting. I did put just a letter in the meeting materials that you all are welcome to read, kind of reflecting on 2022, some of our takeaways on what went well, what didn't. It's not in your paper meeting materials because we were trying to be thoughtful about how much paper we print, but it is online. And if you can't find it online, let me know and we can get you a copy. I wanted to talk through what to expect from the election procedures here. You've gotten a little bit of a taste what voting is like. It takes a while, but we've got to make sure we do it right. Our Constitution requires that it be a roll call vote. I think it might be worth exploring in the future if there are some ways that we could maybe adapt the Constitution to acknowledge that we're in a permanent hybrid situation to make it a little easier, where we can use a voting system. But for now, it's roll call. And so as we go through the election, the way it's going to work is there'll be the election for chair, then the election for vice chair, then secretary, and then treasurer. And each vote is weighted by county. And so each county is weighted by the number of votes that that county cast for Jamie Smith in 2022. And the only folks who can, this is the one part of the meeting where the voters is different. So the 4 voters are the chair, the vice chair, and the 2 county central committee people from each county. And so if you've got a blue folder, if you're at a blue table, you can vote. Online, we'll call out your name. If you are at a red table or have a red folder, you can't vote on this specific one because of the rules of the election. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to adopt the rules of the election. And that is something that everyone can vote on, or everyone who is a state central committee member. So blue and red folders, you can vote on this, and everyone on the Zoom, if you're a state central committee member, can vote on that. A few things about the rules. It basically says, we'll go through county by county. It talks through the weighting. It gives 1 minute for a nominating speech and 5 minutes for the candidates to present. So that's how much time folks have. We'll need folks, if you're presenting as a candidate, please talk into the microphone and the phone so folks on Zoom can hear. We okay? Oh, sweet. And so the way it's going to work is we'll call it out person by person. We'll go through online, and then we'll go through on virtual. I'll be tabulating each individual vote, and then Tegan, who is wonderful and here with us today, is going to be plugging into a spreadsheet that automatically tabulates it. So we can see the transition from each vote to what the weighted vote is. Now, one important thing to keep in mind is that whether 1 person or 4 people vote from a county, the full weight of that county is applied. So if 1 person votes, their vote counts for the full weight of the county. If 2 people vote, their vote is evenly split between those 2. Even if you've got members who aren't in attendance, you aren't missing out on voting power if they're not attending and voting, unless you have no one from your county who's participating. I see we've got a question from Carrie, and I'm going to go on over and let you ask it. Carrie, they can't hear you in Watertown.
I can't hear you. Where is our list of the weighted vote? How many votes does Charles Mills County have? Where's that list that shows how many votes we had?
Based off of the votes that your county gave at the last election for governor.
I apologize. We've got someone with a tricky audio setup, and so it's happening on their end, and we're working our best to make sure we get them muted fast. Yeah, so that list was shared in the meeting materials that circulated beforehand. I can also show you the list. I can project it up on the screen so we can see. But that list has been in circulation online. And it's also, I mean, you can also see it. It's exactly the same as on the Secretary of State's website. Yep.
Could you clarify the process where a particular county has some representatives here and some representatives online?
Yeah, it's a great question. So if a county has some representatives in the room and some representatives online, the whole county will not vote sequentially. We'll do, so for example, for Davidson County, we'll do Davidson County in the room, and then we'll go through the rest of the people in the room, and then we'll switch over to online, and then Davidson County online will vote. It'll be each individual person who casts a vote in order, but that way we're not trying to go back and forth as we've kind of been. I mean, you can see why we don't want to go back and forth. So, any other questions? I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we should touch on. Oh, the other thing I'll mention is that so far for filed candidates, we don't have more than 2 in any place, but if we have a late announcing candidate, the way it works is that you have to get a majority on the first ballot, so more than 50%. If you don't get a majority, then there's a brief caucusing period. There's no more speeches. There's a brief caucusing period, and the top 2 candidates go head to head, and whoever gets the most votes wins. But I don't know if that's going to happen today. People can file at the end. The other thing to mention is that we've got, well, I had one more thing to mention. Oh, the other thing is that you don't need a second for your nomination. So we'll have a 1-minute nominating speech, and Randy might clarify this as well, but there's not a second needed for nomination. One nomination is enough to make you a candidate. And we allowing people to self-nominate? Yeah, and if you want to self-nominate, you can do so. All right, are there further questions in the room? And then I'll go to online. Any further questions in the room? Yes, Carl.
Can there be amendments to the proposed rule on the floor?
Yes, I mean, that's the discretion of the State Central Committee. So you could amend the proposed rules. Okay, any questions online? I'm just checking. I don't see any questions online. All right.
You want to break for 10 or you want to just plow in? Let's go. Let's go. Go.
All right.
Election procedures.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So the next order of business will be to approve the election procedures that have just been outlined by Burke and which are set forth in the meeting minutes, which basically are lifted from the Constitution in terms of how we elect officers.
So move.
Motion to approve the election procedures.
And Sean? Okay, there's been a motion to approve the election procedures and a second discussion in the room. Carl? Sorry, Steve, if that's echoing.
I don't know if many of you've noticed, we have quite a few counties that aren't present here that have Democrats in them that voted for Jamie Smith, but weren't able to get somebody here. The Constitution says that it must be the county chair, vice chair, committee man, or committee woman who votes for those counties, correct? We cannot alter that? It's in the Constitution? Okay. Thank you.
Further discussion on the motion. Discussion online on the motion. Hearing none. All those in favor of the adoption of the election procedures as proposed in the room, say aye. Opposed, nay. Online, all those in favor of the adoption of the election procedures as proposed, say aye.
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 All those online opposed, say nay. The adoption of the election procedures carries unanimously. Okay. With that, the adoption of the colors was very strategic in terms of if you have blue, you get to participate, you get to vote, you get to be involved, you get to align with the colors of the Democratic Party. If you're red, draw your own conclusion. Where's Austin? That's not for publication. Okay, with that, the chair will formally open and accept nominations for the position of chair of the South Dakota Democratic Party. Do we have any nominations for chair of the South Dakota Democratic Party? In the room, Carl.
Nominate Jennifer Slate Hansen for chair of the South Dakota Democratic Party.
Okay, as we previously discussed, there's no seconds to the nominations. You can have more than one nominee or more than one nomination.
One nomination, but there's one hand.
Oh.
So, like Connor.
Okay. Come on up, yep.
Randy, can you repeat that?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
This is Lori. Can you repeat what was just said? Randy said something and everybody laughed. I want to be in on the joke.
Just give me one second.
You have 44 seconds left.
No.
No.
Yeah, I can't get it. Hey folks, just give us 2 seconds. My phone won't let me switch back to speakerphone, so we're dealing with it. But give us 2 minutes here. The name of the game today is patience. We're gonna get through this, and we're gonna get through it right.
You are in the meeting now.
Okay.
There are more than 30 participants in the meeting. You are muted. You can mute.
Okay, folks online, can you hear us?
You are now in a breakout session.
Okay. Great.
Hold this. Sure. How are we doing today, folks? Hello. Thank you. Hello, esteemed members. My name is Connor Hansen. Many of you know my mother, Jennifer Slate Hansen. Thank you. I recently graduated from Augustana University down in Sioux Falls, who is ran. Thank you. Is ran by Stephanie Herseth-Sandlin, who I'm certain many of you know, or if at least heard of. And I just want to share a little story about that. On my first day of classes there at Augie, Stephanie came and spoke in front of my class, and that was a really special experience. But what was more important about that is that afterwards, she pulled me aside and asked, "Hey, Connor, how's your mom doing?" The reason she asked this is because Stephanie remembers my mother working on her campaigns back when I was a baby, being pushed around in a stroller with a Stephanie for Congress sticker. It was a good time, I've been told. This is just one point in the long, dedicated career of service that Jennifer has had serving the South Dakota Democrats. I've been told I need to bring the mic closer to my face. Sorry. Oh, shucks. Really? Okay. Well, long, dedicated career of service. I nominate Jennifer Slate Hansen, my mother, for chair. Thank you.
I will second that if it is needed.
For the various positions, and once we've exhausted that, we'll allow then the candidates that have been nominated 5 minutes to make a speech. So are there any other nominations for the position of chair of the South Dakota Democratic Party? Microphone on the phone is down there, so we kind of try to. Good job, Phyllis.
Okay. I'm Phyllis Ahrens. I've been a South Dakota Democrat my entire life. Until 10 years ago, I didn't know there was an actual Democratic Party in South Dakota. It's for this reason it's my distinct honor to nominate my brother, John Cunningham, to be the next chair of the South Dakota Democratic Party. I know his passion for moving the party forward. John has a well thought out plan to be sure people know there is a strong Democratic Party in South Dakota and that we elect Democrats to offices at all levels of government. John put his heart and soul into running for the office of South Dakota Treasurer. He traveled the state meeting people and hearing their concerns. John is a visionary and has a let's get this done mentality. The party has lacked visionaries and the people see a vision accomplished. I'm reminded of the saying, if you always do what you've always done, you always get what you've always got. If you want to get off this hamster wheel and elect great Democratic candidates, I strongly urge you to elect John Cunningham to lead us forward.
Are there any more nominations for the position of chair? First in the room. Any additional nomination for the position of chair in the room? Seeing none. Online? Any online nominations for the position of chair? Seeing and hearing none, the chair will declare nominations closed for the position of chair of the South Dakota Democratic Party. We will now give each candidate 5 minutes to address the gathering in the order in which they were nominated. So first, Jennifer Slade Anson.
Right. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Carl and Connor, for those nominations. Got a little speech that I am going to present to you. You know me. Everyone in this room, I think, knows me. Hopefully, I shook your hand when you came in today. You know, the years of service, right? Connor didn't get to give his whole little speech, but people around this room probably have seen me many times, so you know the years of service that I've been here. I volunteered on dozens of campaigns. I worked for Stephanie Herseth-Sandlin on her staff. I served as the campaign treasurer for Matt McGovern when he ran for South Dakota PUC. I ran my own campaigns, and I served 10 years after I was elected to the Aberdeen City Council. I've been here again around this table as county and legislative district chair, and I've been on the e-board for over a decade. Right now, I'm your vice chair, and today I'm asking for your vote to be your state chair. As your partner in these challenging times, I want to work to improve the reputation of the Democratic Party across South Dakota. We all know that our ideas and policies work when people go to the ballot box, right? Our initiated measures and our constitutional changes, they pass. So we need to just simply let people know that that's us. We maybe need to scream that a little bit louder from the rooftops. We need to let those friends and neighbors know that that is us and that they agree with us. I want to bring more voices to the table. There's 348 seats available for the state central committee, and there's about 100 of us in the room today. Let's get these seats filled. That's something else that we need to work. My goal is to find common ground amongst us, and to move us forward. Now, we all know it takes money, right? We all know that politics is money. The money's there. Money is there. There are people across the state and across the nation who believe in us, and we just need to find a way to attract them and then make the ask. And I'm prepared to do that. I already have people that I'm working with. As I made this decision, which wasn't easy, but as I made this decision to run for this position, I have been working with a couple of young people who have been wonderful advisors to me, and they have been giving me ideas for ways to raise money, connecting me already with people who will help me do that as well. Finally, my primary goal is to cultivate future leaders. So you saw my son Connor. He's just graduating from college. And there are people like that across the state that we need to cultivate. We need to get them under our umbrella and encourage them to be a Democrat. And we know that half of our young people today are registering as independents, but it's really important for them to register as Democrats, because those of us in this room, when it's time for us to move on, when we decide we don't have the time or the energy to be part of the Democratic Party, we need young people like that who we have been working with to step up to the plate. And so that to me is the most important part, keeping those young people, getting those young people and finding ways to keep them involved. So those are the things that are most important to me, and hopefully those are the things that are important to you as well. And that's why I asked for your vote today. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. The next individual nominated, John Cunningham.
Here, what'd you say? Yeah, it's tough to on Zoom. Yeah, it's probably going to be tough on Zoom. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm John Cunningham, and I'm here because of this. I find this disgraceful, disgusting, and it's offensive. From this, yeah, it's in my pocket. Oh. Oh, okay. Can you hear me now? Can they hear me? Okay.
This is a good idea, but I want to...
Just hold it like this?
Yeah, that's probably best.
Okay. Okay. Since the days of Tom Daschle, when we had 39% of all the registrations in South Dakota were Democrat, we have sunk to where today we're only 25%. Our candidates don't have a fair chance, and this has to change. But it's worse than that. That's what it is today. But as of now, only 17% of the people who register in this state are registering Democrats, and that's got to change. And how does it change? We change things the way every large organization does successfully. We plan our work and work our plan. And I have the plan to do this, to change this party around. But I can't do it. It's not a one-person job, it's a party job. To do this takes the commitment of the entire party, especially the leadership that's in this room. We need to work harder. I need not just your money, but your effort. Time is also important. But that's where I come in, because I don't want you to just work harder, but work smarter. You need somebody with the kind of skills I have to plan, organize, and coordinate your efforts so that they're productive and you're not wasting your time spinning your wheels. So somebody asked me, why should we think that you're as good as you say you are? And I said, okay, I'll answer that today. You don't have to ask my answer. 15 years ago, the Bearing Point Company paid me $124,000 a year to work for them because they thought I was worth it. More recently, a company contacted me and they want me to help them with a project they're bidding on for the World Bank to reorganize local governments in a country. And they're willing to pay me $600 a day. That's $150,000 a year. I'm worth $150,000, and it's worth it to you. And you need a $150,000 person running this party, and you have the chance now. But to come back, it takes commitment. It takes your commitment. Do you have the commitment it takes to do this? I talked to Larry and got some very discouraging news. Only about half of you do any commitment to is that correct, Larry? About half do a financial commitment to this party. And based on that, is it possible that you'll do not just the financial commitment I need to do this job, but the time commitment? But maybe it's not as hopeless as it sounds. Many people don't commit to, I know a friend of mine, John Fixall, who doesn't send any money to the party because he believes that it will go down the drain and wash down the toilet. And for 15 years, he's been right. We spent millions of dollars, and what have we accomplished? We've accomplished sinking into the toilet. We need to get out of that. And we need a plan, an organization, and a coordinated effort to make that happen. And so I'm saying that now, if you've been reluctant to give money because you didn't think it would be used well, now you can. Now I want you to commit your time and your money because you have a coordinated plan that will use your money and your time effectively and efficiently so that we have a party that grows to be the strong, effective, respected, and influential party that this party is designed to be and deserves to be. But it requires your commitment. If you can reach down and find that commitment and express that today in your vote, I'll be glad to serve you as the chair of the Democratic Party and use my talents and my time. I'm willing to devote 30 to 50 hours a week that it will take to do this for 2 years. But after 2 years, we'll have this structure in place, a plan and a program organized, and you won't need me anymore. And in 2 years, I would expect to be out of here because I'm not in there. This job provides nothing for me. I don't need the job needs me. And I am willing to, when you don't need those skills anymore, somebody else can move this party forward, so be it. But I'm willing to devote 2 years of my life creating the structure that it takes to move this party forward. And at that time, you won't need me anymore, and I'll be out of here. But it's 10 years, 2 years is 10% of the rest of my life that I'll give to you to make this party become the strong, influential party that it deserves to be. Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much, and may God bless you and guide you in your vote.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, we'll go through in the room and then.
Point of clarification, Randy, did we in the rules open up time for questions for each candidate?
No. The rules that were adopted do not allow for it.
Okay.
So we're going to proceed with voting.
And then we'll come back and get some results. Okay.
So we're going to vote in the room, online, take about a 5 to 7 minute recess, do the tabulation, announce, move on to vice chair.
I think one count, all counties that have checked in, we'll check at the end and make sure we miss them.
We're only going to call counties that checked in with voting representatives. So we'll ask at the end if we missed anybody to make sure that we have everybody that checked in and is eligible to vote to be given the opportunity to vote.
Randy,
Okay, alphabetically by county.
Randy, will you remind everybody who can vote?
Yes, the rules The rules that were adopted provide specifically who can vote. 4 votes per county. They can be chair, vice chair, and the 2 state central committee people. If you're not one of those people, you cannot vote for officers. And we tried to organize that by color in the room, by table. But if there are any questions about that in terms of when you come around to cast your vote, let us know and we'll take a minute and sort it out. Okay, by county alphabetically. For chair, to either vote for Jennifer Slate Hansen or John Cunningham. Okay, alphabetically by county that have checked in. Bottom.
Say the name.
Pardon me?
Not Bonham, Frank Klochek.
Bottom, Frank Klochek.
Slate Hansen. Can you just repeat it too?
Okay. Brookings, Lawrence Novotny. All for Slate Hansen.
Wait, we're voting one at a time?
Yeah.
Because we've got people online on Zoom. So just count for yourself.
Brookings, Linda Brandt.
Hansen. Repeat it.
Slate Hansen. Brookings, Mary Perpetch. Slate Hansen. Brookings, Veronica Shriver. Slate Hansen. Brown, Jennifer Slate Hansen. Brown, Jennifer Slate Hansen, are you voting? You left. Brown, Justin Remick. Slate Hansen. Rule. Okay, Karen Haynes. Slate Hansen. Charles Mix, Carrie Ackerman Rice. Slate Hansen. Charles Mix, Jason Robertson. Slate Hansen. Davidson, Dave Mitchell. Slate Hansen. Dewey, Carl Peterson. Slate Hansen. Hughes, Amanda Bachman. Slate Hansen. Hughes, Amanda Thronson. Slate Hansen. Lake, Travis Wicks. Slate Hansen. Lawrence. Daryl Riefenrath. Cunningham. Lincoln, Chad Skiles. Slate Hansen. Lyman, Deborah Ann Smith. Cunningham. Lyman, Virginia Hollinger. Cunningham. Meade, Bernadette Usera. Slate Hansen. Minnehaha, Eric Muckey. Minnehaha, Sharon Schultz Elsing. Minnehaha, Cheryl Johnson. Minnehaha, Tom Cool. Slate Hansen. Pennington, Annie Bashand. Slate Hansen. Pennington, Jay Davis. Slate Hansen. Pennington, Sandra Whiteshield. Slate Hansen. Sanborn, John Schmidt. Slate Hansen. Sanborn, Lynn Moran. Slate Hansen. Todd, Sean Bordeaux. He left. Turner, Shane Merrill. Slate Hansen. Union, Julia Sundstrom. Slate Hansen. Beetle, Peggy. Oh, that's all the people in the room. Is there anybody in the room that believes they're an eligible voter that was not given the opportunity to vote? Okay, we're going to proceed with online voting. You may unmute. Let me just.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Beetle County, Peggy Gibson.
All votes for Jennifer Slate Hansen.
Slate Hansen. Clay, Betty Smith.
Slate Hansen.
Slate Hansen. Coddington. Braden Burry,
Cunningham.
Cunningham, Coddington, Travis Paulson,
Slade Hansen.
Slade Hansen, Davison, Caroline Hansen,
Jennifer Slade Hansen.
Slade Hansen, Day, Ellis Bartel, Day, Ellis Bartel, okay, we may come back to Ellis. Hughes, Dawson Lewis,
Slade Hansen.
Slade Hansen, Lake, Jenny Wolf,
Cunningham.
Cunningham, Lake, Tamara Oswald,
Slade Hansen.
Slade Hansen, Lawrence, Brad Schneck,
Slade Hansen.
It's on mute
Slade
now.
Hansen, Lawrence, Carrie Ruth,
Slade Hansen.
Slade Hansen,
I think Alex Bartel is,
we'll come back to her.
well, they're unmuted. Just go from them.
Go ahead.
Where?
Day, Alex.
Not that one. The mute button.
Okay, Day County, we're going back to Day. Ellis Bartel, are you there now?
Oh, did you get that?
No.
No.
Say it now.
Okay, 2 for Cunningham and 2 for Hanson.
Wait, no. Who are the voters?
Day County, Ellis Bartel, you need to vote.
Just you. Yeah, for 2 for Cunningham. Oh, just my vote? Cunningham.
Yes, just your
Okay, Cunningham.
Cunningham.
Are there others from Day County?
Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
Let's come back to Day County at the end. We'll give those people that opportunity that haven't checked in to vote. So Ellis Bartel had checked in for Day County.
Okay.
So we're out to Lawrence County. Molly Salcone,
Jennifer Slade Hansen.
Slade Hansen, Lincoln, Mary Wick,
John Cunningham.
Yeah, we got them.
Schneck voted, Carey voted, Salcone voted. Yep. We're in Lincoln County, Mary Wick,
John Cunningham.
Cunningham, Lincoln County, Susie Larson,
Slade Hansen.
Slade Hansen, Moody County, Bill Niblick,
Slade Hansen.
Slade Hansen, Pennington County, Vince Vidal,
Slade Hansen.
Slade Hansen, Roberts County, David Gleason, Roberts County, David Gleason,
Slade Hansen. Did you get
David?
it?
Yep.
So David Gleason is Hanson. Is that correct? Okay. Stanley, Liz Renner,
Slate Hansen.
Slade Hansen, Turner County, Chris Romer Ryan, Slade Hansen,
Slade Hansen.
Marion Shorland from Turner, Marion, are you still on? Turner County?
Muted, but we can't hear her.
Marion, you're unmuted, but we can't hear you. Will you vote, please? Okay. Going back to Dade County.
They have a few people that didn't check in, but.
So is there anybody online that believes they're eligible to vote that did not have the opportunity to vote?
Okay, I'm muted.
Okay, state your name, please.
Hanson,
No, your name.
Franklin,
Full name, please. Are you a Dade County representative? Is that what we're?
Dade County, you're still muted.
They're muted.
Want to just adjourn for a few minutes. We'll see if we can get their votes down, and then we'll tabulate and announce the results.
I want them to announce while everybody can hear, as opposed to taking it.
Can you hear us now?
Yes.
yeah,
Okay,
Chair Dave,
Dade County.
yeah, I'm the chair, Dave Sigisted, and Jennifer Slate Hanson. Franklin Olson, Hanson.
Darlene Dulitz, Cunningham.
Did you get
Okay,
those?
so
Yeah,
yes.
just give us 1 second here.
Okay. It's clear up here. No, just leave it like that. Oh, no, they're counting. Oh, yeah, I guess we're at the end of the line. Usually we're at the beginning.
Okay. Anybody online that has not voted, that is a chair, vice chair, or state central committee man or woman?
Yeah.
Did Steve McClary vote? I didn't hear his name.
I didn't want, no,
Well, he
I
said
think
he
it's
was gonna-
just Dave Gleason. Yeah.
So was there some issue with Steve McClary?
Yes, he was at a funeral. He was at a funeral.
Okay. Okay. Anybody online that was a chair, vice chair, or state central committee man or woman that was not given the opportunity to vote? Okay, hearing none, we're going to close the voting for chair. We're going to take a 5-minute break and tabulate the results and then announce and move on to vice.
Better do it.
All right, anybody want anything else besides, I can make some lemonade real quick if you'd rather have a.
Wally Adlin died, did you?
Oh, yeah. You can switch it back.
all at the same time.
Online friends, we're getting ready to reconvene.
Okay, in the room and online, I'm going to pass the microphone and the phone to Tegan McNary for the official results and tabulation of the vote. Tegan.
Okay, the results of the vote for chair,
Real quick that people on Zoom can hear.
yeah, people on Zoom, can you give us either a thumbs up or a head nod if you can hear? Awesome. Okay. The results of the vote for chair, we have 93,837 weighted votes, which equals 92.48% for Slate Hansen, 7,629 weighted votes, 7.52% for Cunningham.
All right. Congratulations, Jennifer Slate Hansen. You've been elected as chair of the Democratic Party. I want to give John Cunningham an opportunity to speak a few words. John?
Thank you. I want to congratulate you, Jennifer, and tell you that I'll give you my card, and no matter where I'm at, I'll be a phone call away in case you want to just vent about all the frustrations you're going to experience over this thing. So again, congratulations on your victory.
Thank you. Moving on to vice chair. Nominations are now open for the position of vice chair of the South Dakota Democratic Party. Are there any nominations for vice chair? Eric?
Joining our esteemed gubernatorial candidate from District 15, Jamie Smith. Chair people of Minnehaha and Pennington County co-nominate Shane Merrill for vice chair. We agree as counties, given that we represent the largest populations in the state of South Dakota, that our state party needs to reflect what the DNC needs to be doing, which is the service of rural and tribal communities throughout our state. Shane represents that and represents the need for representation in our state party that represents our next generation of Democrats as well, and I'm proud to do so as the chair of the Minnehaha County Democrats.
And I second that. Annie Bashand as the chair of the Pennington County Democrats.
Thank you, Eric and Annie. Are there any more nominations for the position of vice chair?
Hello, my name is Gail Swenson, and I rise this afternoon, place in nomination the name of Craig Brown for Vice Chair of the South Dakota Democratic Party. Craig is a compassionate Democrat, and he will work hard for us every single day. So I would ask that you would vote for Craig. Thank you.
Thank you, Gail. Any more nominations for the vice chair in the room? Any more nominations for vice chair in the room? Going once, twice, okay. Any more nominations for the position of vice chair online? Anybody online? Hearing none, we'll close nomination for the position of vice chair and give the nominated candidates 5 minutes to address the group. So Shane was nominated first. Shane will give you an opportunity first to address the group.
All right. Well, thank you for the nomination, Annie and Eric. It's just great to look out here today and see so many friends that I've made over the past many years that I've been involved, even though I'm young. I've served with you guys on the e-board, and it's just good to all be together here. So quickly, just a little bit about me and how I got here and why I'm running. I'm a 30-year-old farmer from Parker. I farm with my dad and my grandpa. We mainly do crops. We also have some cattle. We exited the dairy industry 2 years ago. We had a small dairy farm there on the south side of town. And ever since then, I've been working at the Parker School, driving school bus too. So I do some sub-teaching and coaching as well with them. So I guess really what got me going and interested in services when I grew up, I watched my dad and my grandpa, who are both Republicans, but they're the good Republicans. Both were elected school board members in Parker. My grandpa was a county commissioner in Turner County as well, and ran the Turner County Fair for 25 years. I got my start in Democratic politics, I guess, when I was 17 years old. I drove into downtown Sioux Falls, went to Stephanie Hearst-Sandlin's office, and got put to work right away. I was running signs all over the state even back then, and I guess I was hooked from the word go. That led me to helping former state senator Tom Jones on his 2 campaigns in the old District 17, which we won both those races. When I was 17 and I learned so much about drove into downtown Sioux Falls, went to Stephanie and became friends with Tom, and then I just really enjoyed that and everything he taught me. Got put to work right away. I was running signs all over the state even back then, and I guess I was hooked from the word go. 2014, I believe the year was. That led me to the youngest person ever elected former state senator Tom Jones on his 2 campaigns. And I served one term before I moved back. We won both those races, and I learned so much about downtown Sioux Falls. But Tom and Larry and others back then convinced me to run for state senate on the old District 17 as a young person. I ran against retired Judge Arthur Rush, and it was a great race. I carried 3 Republican precincts. I carried my hometown of Parker, which has never voted for a Democrat, by over 15 points. So that would show me that we can still win in red areas with the right people if we can find them and get them elected. I also served on the e-board. I've been in county leadership as well, which kind of leads us to how we got here today. Many of you out there today have reached out over the last month or so, encouraging me to run, asking me to run. And I guess I heard those calls. I really wasn't looking for this job, but it's definitely lit a fire under me again. I was awarded the Young Democrat Award at McGovern Day this spring, was heavily involved with Jamie Smith's campaign, as well as Don Larson's, and that really got me going, I think, again. Where do I want to go with this? Looking forward, number one is to be that Big Tent. When I worked with Stephanie's campaign, I saw a lot of people, and some of them have fallen off. Bring those people back on board. They have experience, they have knowledge. We need them. We also need the young people. I don't know another candidate here for leadership today that can probably make those inroads like I can. When I ran for state senate, Vermillion USD was in that district at the time. I made great gains with the USD Democrats. They helped me on my campaign and were pivotal in why I carried some of the precincts in Clay County. Of course, fundraising is a big one. We all talk about it. Now that we know who our chair is going to be with Jennifer, I'm excited to sit down with her and our treasurer as we look forward to raising the money that we need to run these campaigns. And lastly, the rural thing. It's huge for me, guys. And as many of you out there, you're from small counties just like me. If we can put a 30-year-old farmer in leadership, if nothing else, we're going to get a nice press release tomorrow and hit the Republicans off guard. Not all farmers are Trump Republicans, but there's a lot in Turner County that I know. There's many in Turner County that I know that have maybe fallen off or think the party's left them. But just offer that helping hand back on board and say, hey, we want you. We're here for rural issues, and work together. I'll leave you with this. I have a friend in Parker who is a Democrat and work with Senator Daschle. And he said, Shane, you give so much to your community. Little League baseball coach, you're heavy in the church groups, the school issues, as are many of you out here today. So there's people just like us in every small town across the state. We just have to find them and get them to run, even if it's for a city council, as I got my start, county commission, school board, whatever it might be. So with that, guys, I would appreciate your vote today, and I look forward, if elected, to working with these guys. And it's just wonderful to be here. So thank you, everyone.
Craig? Just like that, huh?
Microphone on the phone is down here. So.
Okay. So I turn it upside down?
Right like that.
Like that. That'll work. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you. I'm Craig Brown. I'm a native of Huron. I'm currently a small business owner in Sioux Falls. I look forward to serving the South Dakota Democratic Party. I've been a leader all of my life, and I look forward to being a part of the leadership team that can take Democrats into the next decade. I want to talk to you today about some of the priorities I will have in serving as your vice chair. The first of these is fundraising. Now, we hear fundraising a lot. We hear a lot of loose terms about fundraising. So let me give you a promise that no other candidate is willing to make, and that is that I will serve on a fundraising committee. I will make fundraising calls myself. Okay, I will do that, and I will see to it that fundraising is a top priority of the South Dakota Democratic Party as we move forward. We cannot win this war without the money to win this war. So let's stop talking about it. Let's get serious about it, and let's put serious people to work raising funds for our party. Secondly, I want to fight a social media war. Through press releases and social media, which is something that we can afford, I want to attack the lunacy coming out of Pierre whenever it comes out of Pierre. And how often is that? Every damn day. And for way too many Democrats, we have woken up every morning to that stuff coming from Republicans, and we have looked for an answer from the Democratic Party. We have besieged each other for when that answer is going to come from the Democratic Party. And when it does not come, what do you think people think of the Democratic Party? We have got to answer that question. We have got to energize around doing this. So I've got an idea. We're going to form a network of 300 people who are tied into social media through Twitter, through Facebook, and all the other social media platforms. And we are going to execute a plan so that they respond to Republican crap whenever we hear it. Because that's something that we can afford to do, and by God, we will do it. Third, my priority is to get Democrats to show up. Whether it is the Chislik Festival in Freeman, Check Days in Tabor, Pennington County Fair, Brown County Fair, we will show up as Democrats and we will talk about democratic values. Because here's the beautiful thing that we've got going for us, folks. We are right on the issues and we speak the truth, which the other party doesn't care about. All right? We are right on the issues and we can speak the truth, but we've got to be in position to do it. And oh, by the way, here's a commitment that I will make, that as long as I'm in a leadership position, there will be no further discussion of closing down the Democratic office in Rapid City. Because we cannot afford to ignore the second most populous county in South Dakota. We have got to be there. And we can't dream of ever making a dent in statewide politics unless we show up and we talk to people about our values and we talk to people about the truth. So yeah, I'm an older guy. I met George McGovern when I was 7 years old. And now my life has come full circle. And it means a lot to me to be in the potential position to continue his legacy. It means an awful lot. I hope I've earned your vote. I want to work for you. I want to be accountable to you. I want to be your state vice chair. Thank you.
Okay, we'll use the same procedure that we used for the election of the chair. Those individuals that have checked in and are in the room, we'll call the county and your name, and then we'll go to online. Bonham, Frank Klochek. Merrill, Brookings, Lawrence Novotny. Merrill, Brookings, Linda Brandt. Craig Brown. Brookings, Mary Perpetch. Merrill, Brookings, Veronica Shriver. Merrill, Brown, Jennifer Slade Anson. Abstain, Brown, Justin Remick. Abstain. Whoops, Brule, Karen Haynes. Merrill, Charles Mix, Ackerman Rice. Okay, Merrill. Charles Mix, Jason Robertson. Merrill, Davidson, Dave Mitchell. Merrill, Dewey, Carl Peterson. Merrill, Hughes, Amanda Bachman. Merrill, Hughes, Amanda Thronson. Merrill, Lake, Travis Wicks. Merrill, Lawrence, Daryl Renfraff. Merrill. Lincoln, Chad Skiles. Merrill, Lyman, Deborah Ann Smith. Brown, Lyman, Virginia Holliner. Brown, Meade, Bernadette Usera. Brown, Minnehaha, Eric Muckey. Merrill, Minnehaha, Sharon Schultz Elsing. Merrill, Minnehaha, Cheryl Johnson. Merrill, Minnehaha, Tom Cool. Merrill, Pennington, Annie Bashand. Pennington, Jay Davis. Merrill, Annie Bashand voted for Merrill also. Pennington, Sandra Whiteshield. Merrill, Sanborn, John Schmidt. Merrill, Sanborn, Lynn Moran. John Schmidt votes Brown. Okay, John Schmidt from Sanborn, Brown. Sanborn, Lynn Moran. Brown. Todd, Sean Bordeaux. Not voting. Turner, Shane Merrill. Merrill. Union, Julia Sundstrom. Merrill. Okay, we're going online. Beadle, Peggy Gibson.
Merrill.
Congratulations, Sean Mary. The next meeting chair.
Okay, as we move to online voting, Craig Brown stood up and indicated that he wished to concede the race, and based on his admission and concession, the chair will accept it and declare Shane Merrill the vice chair. Burke's whispering in my ear, so apparently doesn't want me to do this. What now? And declare Shane Merrill the winner. Anybody object to that process? Let the record reflect both in person and online. Anybody online object to that process? There's no objection. Congratulations, Shane Merrill. You're the next vice chair of the South Dakota Democratic Party. Thank you, Craig. Nominations are now open for the position of state treasurer. On my agenda, I have state treasurer as the next one. Okay, the official, we'll go to secretary next. We'll go to secretary next. So, okay, nominations are now open for the position of state party secretary. Larry Olson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have the distinct pleasure and honor to put into nomination the name Lori May for secretary. I apologize for my voice. Anyway, I've had the privilege of knowing Lori for several years and know of her dedication and her commitment to the position that she has held for so long on there. Lori would have loved to have been here today, but unfortunately she had to go under the knife. And it's helped her now to actually leap those tall buildings in a single bound. But the doctor has put her on restriction. Yeah, okay. And she has an ankle bracelet. So anyway, all right. Yeah.
Are there any other nominations for the position of state chair's secretary? Jay Davis. Right here in the diamond, Jay. Since you're a diamond.
I'm Jay Davis.
Sorry to interrupt, Jay, but we lost you there.
Can hear us.
Gotcha.
Can you hear us now?
Yep, gotcha.
Okay. I know some people are shaking their heads no. Can you hear us?
Yes.
You can hear you,
Lori
folks.
is the
You
only
can't
one
hear
there.
the Wheeler room.
I can't hear the Wheeler room.
Well, I'm in the
You're
Wheeler room.
speaking. Yeah, but I can't hear
I
Jay.
apologize. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's my pleasure and distinct honor to place in nomination the name of Tony Diamond from Rapid City to be the next secretary of the South Dakota Democratic Party. I first became acquainted with Tony Diamond when she stepped forward to run for state representative in the year 2020, which was one of the roughest times to run at the height of the pandemic. Unfortunately, her campaign was not adequately funded, but she ran a very honorable race. Tony Diamond is a veteran of the United States Marines, a leader in the Black Hills Center for Equality, a spokesperson for the LGBT community. She's done humanitarian work in Africa. She's someone who will open doors for Democrats to marginalized communities. We often complain that all of the top echelon of leaders in the South Dakota Democratic Party are from East River. And I, for one, am grateful that someone from West River has stepped up to volunteer to take what's sometimes a thankless but important job as one of the new leaders of the South Dakota Democratic Party. And I hope you'll join me in supporting Tony Diamond for secretary. Thank you.
Any other nominations in the room for the position of secretary? Any other nominations in the room? Seeing none, online, any other nominations for the position of secretary? Seeing none, we'll declare that nominations close and give each of the candidates 5 minutes to address the membership. Lori, you were first nominated. You can go first. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you. Thanks to Larry for that underwhelming support nomination. Just to clear up a couple things, going under the knife meant getting a new knee at the end of December, and my doctor ortho said that I cannot drive for 2 months. So I'm stuck at home. I do not have the ankle bracelet, even though my doc put me under house arrest, I guess. I've been secretary for 14 years for the Democratic Party. I took over in the middle of a term when the last secretary resigned. So I fulfilled that 2 years and have successfully run 3 times since then. I believe in getting stuff down, getting it correct, making corrections when I need to or when it's brought to my attention, and doing everything with good grammar, good spelling, getting people's names right, and getting down the salient points of minutes, and also not so salient points, things that need clarifying. I've worked hard in this position. I try to get the minutes out when asked for them. I've gone back over minutes when individuals have asked me to comb through them to find out information from past meetings. I've enjoyed my time as secretary. It's so nice being in a room full of Democrats when I do this, because in this state, we don't always get to do that. I would like to have your vote for secretary so that I can continue on with the consistency that you've come to expect from the secretary, and to help out in any way I can by going back through minutes if you need me to, being available to talk anytime, text or phone or email. And I would like to receive your vote again for secretary. Thank you.
Tony? Magic, please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tony Diamond, and yes, I'm from Rapid City. I am not a native to South Dakota. I'm from Minnesota originally. Somebody said boo? No. It's okay. I don't want to go back there either. It's cold. Living in the Black Hills is become near and dear to my heart, and being a part of South Dakota is, I call it home. This is home for me. And being part of the Democratic Party, I want to contribute and give my best to whatever I do. When I ran for office back in 2020, it was a challenge, but I stood up and I was willing to do it. And as a secretary, I want to give 110% to whatever it is I'm called to do. I'm willing to make changes. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I'm open to suggestion. It's a new position for me, but I know that I can do it and I will do it well. So I'm asking for your vote. I'll keep it short and sweet. You've seen my bio, so it speaks for itself. Vote for me, and I'd be very happy. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Again, we'll do the roll call vote by county. I'll call the county and the name. Again, the two candidates, Lori May or Tony Diamond. First, we'll do in the room and then online. Then we're going to take a 5-minute break while we tally and reconvene. Bottom, Frank Klocek. May. Brookings, Lawrence Novotny. Diamond. Brookings, Linda Brandt. Diamond. Brookings, Mary Perpich. May. Brookings, Veronica Shriver. Diamond. Brown, Jennifer Slate Hansen. Stain. Brown, Justin Remick. Sorry. Abstain. Brule, Karen Haynes. Diamond. Charles Mix, Carrie Ackerman Rice. Diamond. Charles Mix, Jason Robertson. Diamond. Davison, Dave Mitchell. Diamond. Dewey, Carl Peterson. Diamond. Hughes, Amanda Bachman. Diamond. Hughes, Amanda Thronson. Diamond. Lake, Travis Wicks. May. Lawrence, Daryl R. Diamond. Lincoln, Chad Skiles. May. Lyman, Deborah Ann Smith. Diamond. Lyman, Virginia Hollinger. Abstain. Mead, Bernadette Ucera. Diamond. Minnehaha, Eric Muckey. Diamond. Minnehaha, Sharon Schultz Elsing. Diamond. Minnehaha, Cheryl Johnson. May. Minnehaha, Tom Cool. May. Pennington, Annie Bashand. Diamond. Pennington, Jay Davis. Diamond. Pennington, Sandra Whiteshield. Diamond. I'm sorry I missed that. Diamond with an abundance of thanks to Lori May. Okay. Sanborn, John Schmidt. May. Sanborn, Lynn Moran. Diamond. Todd, Sean Bordeaux, not voting. Turner, Shane Merrill. May. Union, Julia Sundstrom. Okay. Going online. Unmute. Beetle, Peggy Gibson.
All for Lori May.
May. Play, Betty Smith.
Diamond.
All for
Diamond. Coddington, Brandon. Brewery isn't here. Coddington, Travis Paulson.
Me.
May. Davison, Caroline Hanson.
Diamond.
Diamond. Day, Alice Bartel.
all for May.
All for May.
Okay, we're going to call your name individually. Day, Ellis Bartel.
May.
Day, Darlene Dulitz.
May.
May.
Day, Dave Singstead.
For May.
Day, Franklin Olson.
May.
May. Hughes.
Diamond.
Where'd we?
Diamond.
No, just a minute. What?
Where Hughes? Okay, sorry.
Hughes there. Okay. Hughes.
Hughes
Dawson Lewis.
Tony Diamond.
Diamond. Lake, Jenny Wolf.
May.
May. Lake, Tamara Oswald.
May.
May. Lawrence, Brad Schneck.
Diamond.
Diamond. Lawrence, Carrie Ruth.
Diamond.
Diamond. Lawrence, Molly Salcone.
Tony Diamond, please.
Diamond. Lincoln, Mary Wick.
Lori May.
May. Lincoln, Susie Larson.
Lori May.
May. Marshall, Susan Wismer. Marshall, Susan Wismer. Don't see her. She must have dropped. That was Marshall Moody, Bill Nebelik,
May.
May, Pennington, Vince Vidal,
Diamond.
Diamond, Roberts, David Gleason,
May.
May, Stanley, Liz Renner,
Diamond.
Diamond, Turner, Chris Mamarine,
May.
May, and Turner, Marion Sorleen,
May.
May. Anyone in the room thinks they should be able to vote and we're not given the opportunity? Anyone online thinks they should have been given the opportunity to vote and we're not allowed to vote? Hearing none, voting is now closed. We'll tabulate the results, take a 5-minute recess and reconvene.
Hey, folks, we'll be getting started in just a minute or two here. So we're just calling everyone back in.
We're going to reconvene. Please, if anybody's out of the hallway, tell them to reconvene. Online, we're going to reconvene. Okay. We're back in session. Back in session. Come to order, please. Thank you.
Double check Zoom. Can you?
And online. Can you hear me? Nods. Okay. I'm going to turn it over to Tegan McNary for the official results.
Okay, for Lori May, we have 42,009 weighted votes, which is 43.62%. And Tony Diamond, we have 54,290 weighted votes, which is 56.38%.
Congratulations, Tony. I think part of the rationale in the current Constitution is that the current officers serve until May 1st, so there'll be a transitional opportunity here, and I speak for all of us in terms of we'll follow up with the individuals that have been elected to make and ensure a smooth transition. You know, one of the benefits, if you will, of serving as chair is the opportunity to work, of course, with all of you and to make friendships that are lasting and to hang out with like-minded Democrats. But I must say that in terms of my term, that Lori May, you've been a shining star of the party. You've given everything that you can to the party in terms of being secretary. It's probably the most thankless job, although that's head and head with treasurer. But Lori, thank you for your commitment. You've done it through thick and thin. You've done it despite having to overcome a lot of obstacles. We appreciate you. We appreciate your commitment to the party.
Thank you. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Randy.
Standing ovation for Lori May. Okay, with that, nominations are now open for the position of state treasurer. Treasurer of the South Dakota Democratic Party nominations are now open. Shane. Stand in the triangle.
I would rise today to nominate my fellow Turner County cohort, Larry Olson, for another term as treasurer. Larry and I have got to be really good friends through this politics thing, and we've kind of nicknamed him the sign king of Southeast South Dakota, because if you take and draw a line from Bonholm County to Mitchell to Brookings and back, that's where him and I and Frank did signs, I don't know, 10 days of the fall, probably every day, putting on thousands of miles. So aside from treasurer duties, he does so many other things for the party. So I would nominate my good friend, Larry Olson.
Are there any more nominations in the room for the position of treasurer? Seeing none in the room, online, are there any other nominations for the position of treasurer? Online?
I move nominations cease.
Okay, who was that? Larson? Liz has made a motion, and I know Chad has indicated if there would be no other nominations, that he makes the motion along with Liz that nominations cease, and we cast a unanimous ballot for Larry Olson for treasurer of the Democratic Party. So, okay, is there a second? Say, moved by Larson and Chad, seconded by Terry Ackerman Rice and Travis. Discussion, hearing none. All those in favor of casting unanimous ballot for Larry Olson for treasurer, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Yeah, there you go. Opposed, nay. Not a vote. Larry, you've been doing such a unanimous and wonderful job that congratulations again on your election. We're now going to proceed to Executive Board Regional Representatives. I'll let Burke kind of explain the logistical aspects of this. We have both rooms, and well, here, Burke.
All right. So just to walk through what this procedure is going to look like, we do have folks online and in person. So we're going to take a few minutes at the beginning to make sure that everyone is able to get logged on, that we've got devices for everyone, those types of things. So just be patient. We're going to take a little bit of a break here to get everyone situated, and then we'll get started. Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll break up into individual spaces throughout these two rooms with, everyone gathered around a table. For some of the larger ones, if you need to pull a couple tables together, that's all right. We're Democrats. We'll figure things out. And so just gather around. I would ask that if you have a current regional representative on the executive board in person, please go to the check-in table and make sure you have one of our sheets to fill out who won. Go get that from Brandy. And then also check with her. If you have a device, great. You can log onto the Zoom. If you need us to get you the link, we can. And then Aaron will get everyone into the right breakout rooms. So you'll each be in a breakout room with one device. It can be a phone or it can be a computer, just wherever you want to call in from, and then make sure it's got enough volume so people can hear. If we run into issues, we can always troubleshoot and figure it out before we actually get started on things. Can we hold off on conversations for just a minute, please, so everyone can hear? So I'm going to ask that the regions 1 through 4 stay in this room. Don't move yet. And then regions 5 through 7 gather in that room, just so we're kind of spread out. And so what we'll do is we'll adjourn the State Central Committee meeting and then go to each of those places. So if you're in the room here, if you have a blue folder or a red folder, you can vote in these elections. The voters for the Executive Board elections are all State Central Committee members. So that includes county vice chairs and chairs. That includes Executive Board members who don't have another county position. But anyone can run for an Executive Board position. So others can observe these meetings. They can throw their name in the ring to run, but only State Central Committee members can vote. So we'll walk around, try and help. If you have questions about who can be a voter, but please try and be cognizant of that as you're going through that process.
Is anybody there yet? Hello? Anybody there?
I'm there.
Okay, do you want me to chair the meeting since I'm the thing for the vice president or for the chair of the district, and then turn it over to Carrie to run the election that way, or how do you want to do it?
I can't hear what's going on.
Frank, they haven't split us
This
into regions yet.
No. You're talking for the three that are in a different room?
Yeah, we're all gonna get out into breakout rooms here pretty soon.
Okay,
Okay, I'll wait.
thank you.
Yeah.
We're going to try to reconvene in here after the elections and make the announcement so that when each of the individual groups are done, reconvene in here and we'll continue to monitor that so we all know who's been elected.
Okay, so you want to just recess?
Yeah.
I want to just say.
Okay, thanks
Yes,
everybody.
chair.
I'll let everybody kind of keep coming back in here. We'll wait, I'll give it just a second. And then just as a reminder, I believe pretty much everyone here has it covered already. But if you haven't, and you are in this regional election, I need you to make sure to change your name to your last name and then the region that you're in. So even some of these folks, I'll wait just a second. We got more people joining who are in the room here at the election. Just hang tight just a sec, folks. Okay. I'll let folks keep filing in here, but just as a reminder, so even some of the new folks that just entered, what we'll do, I will split you all up into your region rooms. This is to vote for all of your region reps or county party chair, all that stuff for each region. So it'll be a little bit smaller room than it was last time. We won't be kind of in the main room where we're seeing everyone speak. But you will have one regional representative in each Zoom room. Those folks, they'll go over exactly how this voting process will look like. They'll guide you along, and they'll be sure that everyone gets their vote and gets everything in correct. So give me just a second. I want to make sure everyone is renamed, and then I'll start breaking you out into Zoom rooms. Apologize, folks. I'm going to have to kind of give the same directions a couple times just to make sure everything goes correctly. So.
Yeah, my apologies, Aaron. I just jumped back in. I got booted from that breakout room altogether.
Okay, one last time, and then I'm going to actually move everyone in. So what we'll do here is make sure everyone has their last name and then their region set up. There'll be some folks that are here at the election that are in each region. They'll be the one to kind of help out everyone on Zoom and make sure that this election process goes smoothly with the folks in the room and the folks that are on Zoom. But once you have your name set up, I'll be sure to send each of you into your own Zoom room, and then everything else should be good to go. So just give me 1 second. No one moved to any room yet. I'll assign you and get you moved.
Oh, Brad. So Brad, Molly.
Brad and Molly will already be on.
Again, just give me a second, folks. I'll be sure to get everyone into their right rooms, but just give me a second. Okay, like I said, just 1 second, everybody. I'll make sure everyone gets where they need to go. We won't start without you, we'll be good. But just as a reminder, what would be super helpful if everyone could rename themselves to your last name and then your region. So for example, I would be Vlasman, Region 1. If you could do that, that'll make this sorting process really easy, and then we can get this show on the road. Thanks, everybody. Okay, Annie, really quickly, which region are you supposed to be in?
Are you talking to me?
I got it figured out. I'm going to send you over. Hey, just to clarify, so is the iPhone, is that you, Justin?
Yes, that is me on this iPhone. I can't figure out how to change my name.
That's okay. What region are you in?
We are Region 1 over here.
Perfect. I'm going to get you renamed and then I'll send you over.
Okay.
Put together.
Okay, the phone number that just entered, the 605, can I just ask you who you are and then what region you're in? And then Liz Renner, I think what happened is you got like out of region 6. If I could just have you like hop out of the Zoom and then hop back in, I'll make sure you get to the right Zoom room.
Hey, Aaron.
Actually, Aaron, Region 6 is done voting. Like, we already voted. I was in there and then I came back out. Dawson, we only had 2 nominees, so it was a unanimous, really quick thing.
Okay, perfect.
Can you, hey, Aaron, and I apologize for hijacking you, but can you just put me in 3? I will stay quiet and not comment or anything.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, I can do that. Is the phone number that just entered, is this Bob? Region 6 is done. Right, Liz? Everyone from Region 6 is done. Good to go?
Correct.
Perfect. Region 2 done? You are just a little bit choppy. Yep, you're good. You're done.
Yes, we are done.
Perfect.
I can walk over to the next room and tell you if you need me to.
Thanks, Travis.
Okay.
Oh. Hey, Addison, are you looking for the Clay County room?
Hi, can I be, I'm in Region 5.
Yes, I'll go ahead and get you transferred over quick.
Awesome, thank you.
Hey, Aaron, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
So, I don't know, somehow I got moved out of Region 7.
Okay.
Yeah, so did I. This is Bob.
Sure. I'll pass the computer over to Annie quick. So then any questions that you have, you can just run that right through her, okay?
Okay. Actually, I think everybody got moved.
We're gonna reconvene, get everybody on the road. No change in 7?
No.
Okay.
No.
I hope so.
Really?
I thought it was gonna be horrible yesterday, based on the 511 road report.
Did you see this? Did you see the truck jacked over there?
Oh, really?
It's just happened. Just happened.
There was.
Just a second, folks.
Okay,
All right.
Tell them we're reconvening, okay, right now.
Hey, folks, we're going to go ahead and reconvene back into the main meeting. So I'm going to get everyone back into that big room, the one where we were in before.
Hey, folks, we are just about to reconvene.
Everybody take their seats, please. We're gonna reconvene. We'll have you out here in 15 minutes. Yep.
What?
He's doing the legislation here. I'm just gonna that way.
Okay.
We're gonna go ahead and reconvene. The results of the executive
Burke, I can't hear.
Just give just 1 second, folks. Hey, folks, you should all be able to go ahead and move into the big room, the broadcast room. I sent it to everyone. Accept. You just have to hit accept to move to the big room.
I didn't even get that, Burke.
Aberast's passing. Apparently there's a protocol that revolves around when the actual internment is going to take place, which we're not sure of at this point. But if you have any information or if you've seen the official obituary with respect to that, please let Cameron know, okay? And he'll notify the governor's chief of staff. Shane had an announcement.
I just would like to rise today and say, it wasn't too long ago. I think it was maybe 2018, 19. Nobody wanted these jobs we were running for, but Randy stepped up and stayed with it when times got extremely tough. And I think we owe him a great round of applause here today for all his hard work that he has done.
Yep. Yeah.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear anything. Yeah.
All right, wait. Can you hear us now? Can you hear us? Yes? Yeah, okay. Okay.
All right, thanks, Rick. All right, some of you were here 4 years ago in this building when I nominated Randy Seiler as vice chair. Randy had come to the meeting to represent Stanley County, had no intention of running for any office. We kind of twisted his arm, we leaned on him a little bit, and he took it on, thinking that it was probably just going to be an easy couple of years and he'd just coast into retirement. Well, it didn't turn out that way. As most of you know, it's been a hell of a tough ride, as Shane just referenced. In honor of that and all that Randy has accomplished over his long life, he and I worked together in the Knipe administration. That's how long we've been friends. He was my boss. I was just out of school, second grade, I think. But anyway, in his honor, I'm proposing that we establish a separate fund in the state party coffers. And I'm going to suggest that we call it the Randolph J. Seiler Leadership Fund. And I'm going to kick in the first $5,000. So we don't have any statewide offices coming up for election for a few years, but I want that money to be there and entice people to take on the task of running for statewide office. So I propose that we divide that 5,000 basically 9 ways. If I say basically, so because I follow that guy around, he's basically my leader. So a $5,000 leadership fund, $1,000 for the gubernatorial candidate, $500 each for the other positions. Lieutenant Governor, Attorney General, you all know who they are. And to include School of Public Lands and the Public Utilities Commission. So we have a public utilities PUC seat coming up in 2024. The rest of them will come in 2026. So Larry, I'll work with you on getting the funds transferred. You can invest that any way you want to, make it grow, and I'd welcome anybody else in the room that wants to join me. But this is important work, and I know that because Randy Satter's been doing it for a long time. Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt. I'm honored, and you know, I just first of all, I guess you know, you've all made this what it is in terms of the opportunities over the course of the last 3.5 years, and nobody does this job alone. And each of you have made a commitment to the Democratic Party, and I respect that, and I appreciate that, and I want to thank each of you for the commitment that you've all made. I know we harp a little bit about money and what percentage of all of you and what percentage of the leadership and the executive board and the state central committee contribute, but you all contribute in one way or another. Some of us are more fortunate than from an economic standpoint than others. But each of you have dedicated and committed your time, your talent, and are working to make and continue to make the South Dakota Democratic Party, you know, what it is and hopefully what it can be in the future. I have often said that from a management perspective, I saw this as kind of a 3-step process. One was kind of transactional in terms of making sure that all of the underlying stuff, all of the issues with the FEC and all of the audit issues and all of that got taken care of, and that we had safeguards in place. That's transactional. And then there's operational in terms of making sure we had financial safeguards and started fundraising and all of that. But the third step, I think, in moving any organization forward is where we're at now, and that's the transformational aspects of moving the Democratic Party forward. We're on solid footing. We've got our shit together with respect to the FEC, with respect to where we are. We're in the black. We don't owe anybody anything. All of our obligations are current. We've got new and exciting leadership in terms of the officers of the party. And so as I see it in terms of moving forward, it's a transformational time for all of us. And I would just encourage all of you to continue to be involved in any way that you want to, in terms of that you feel comfortable, and give the new officers and executive board all of the same support that you've given me over the last 3.5 years. So thank you to each of you. You have a place in my heart that will be forever there. As Democrats, sometimes it's a voice in the wilderness, but that's what I value about and what I take from this is the opportunity I've worked with all of you. Thank you. And with that, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by Joseph, seconded by Travis. Second discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you.